Hello friends, welcome back to A Good Life Farm. Today I'm in the kitchen making creamy chicken noodle casserole. Alright, so I have everything started. I've got my oven heated up to 350. I've got some shredded cheese, about 2 cups or so, sharp cheddar, 2 cups of milk, about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of some cooked diced chicken. So I'm going to get my water going there. I've got some egg noodles that I'm going to cook. And right now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter to a little saucepan here. And I'm going to let that start melting. And I'm going to go ahead and bring you down here so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so my water is boiling like crazy over there, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my egg noodles. And for this recipe, I'm going to need about 12 ounces, so I'm only going to use about 3/4 of my bag of noodles here. And I'll just save the rest of the noodles for some soup or something. So now that my butter is melted, I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And I'm just going to whisk that together real quick. So 2 tablespoons butter, 2 tablespoons flour. I'm going to whisk that together and then let it cook for just a minute. Let the mixture get a little bit bubbly and frothy looking in the bottom of the saucepan. And then I'm going to add in 2 cups of milk. I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of salt and pepper, about 1/2 teaspoon or so of each. And we'll bring this mixture to a boil and it'll begin to thicken up. And that creates what's called a bechamel sauce. And I'm probably not even pronouncing that correctly, but it's a basic white sauce that is used for all sorts of things, including making chipped beef with dried beef. And of course, because this is a milk-based sauce, I'm going to stir it the whole time. That way it doesn't scorch. Alright, my white sauce here is beginning to boil and it's kind of thickened up into sort of a gravy texture. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the heat so that it doesn't scorch. And it's kind of perfect timing because my noodles are just about ready and I will go ahead and drain them. You can probably hear little Miss Willow down there playing with her toys. I'm going to add in about 1/2 of my shredded cheese. And we're going to give this a stir and melt it in. Alright, so that is nice and melted in. So now I'm going to grab the rest of my ingredients. Alright, so this is the pot that I cooked my noodles in. I'm just going to mix everything in here. I don't see the need to dirty up a mixing bowl to do this. I'm going to pour my cheese sauce into the pot. Then I'm going to add in my cooked egg noodles. I'm going to add in my cooked chicken. This could be diced or shredded, whichever you prefer. And you want about 2 cups or so. And this is a great recipe to use leftover chicken. You could also use leftover turkey around the holidays if you've got some of that. I'm going to mix these all together. I'm going to add in about a cup of frozen peas. Stir those in. You don't have to worry about cooking these because you're going to bake this and they will cook together just fine when you bake it. Now I've got a casserole here. This is just my Lodge casserole dish. It's a big skillet basically. And I have sprayed it with a little bit of oil. And now I'm going to spread my mixture into that. Any kind of baking dish that's about this size would work just fine. Spread these out. Alright, now I'm going to sprinkle a little more cheese over the top. And actually, I'm not going to use all of this cheese. I don't think I need it all. So I would say you'd end up using maybe 1.5 cups altogether. 1 cup into the sauce, and then about 1/2 cup, if that, on top. Alright, so now I've got one more topping to go on here, and that is some buttered breadcrumbs. So I've got a slice of bread here that I put in the toaster, and I just kind of let it sit in there to get cool. And I'm just going to break it into my food processor. This is nice and dry because it was sitting in there in the warm area, just kind of beyond toasting, just drying out really. And I got the crust piece here too, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well. This is how I do breadcrumbs. I don't buy breadcrumbs anymore. If you want seasoned breadcrumbs, you could add a little bit of seasoning into this. It's so easy. I mean, if you've got a food processor and a way to toast some bread, you can make breadcrumbs. Now I'm just going to pulse this into crumbs. Now I've got a tablespoon of butter that I melted here in my skillet. And I'm going to add about 1 cup of the breadcrumbs into the butter. And if you want really fine crumbs, you can just pulse it a little bit longer. And give those a stir. Get the butter all mixed into the breadcrumbs. And we're going to sprinkle these all over the top. Now this is going to go into the oven, and I'm going to cover it for 15 minutes. If the dish that you are using does not have cover, just use some aluminum foil. So it'll bake covered for 15 minutes and then 10 more uncovered. Alright you guys, so that is how you make the creamy chicken noodle casserole. Now we like our peas just barely cooked, so if you actually want your peas cooked really soft, you could go ahead and put the frozen peas in with the noodles while they're cooking, but just do it at the very end. Let it go for the last couple of minutes. That said, it is a really easy recipe, and it is something that everyone likes, it seems. You can't go wrong with cheesy, creamy noodles with meat and breadcrumb topping and all of that. So I have got a sleepy little Miss Willow here who is ready for a bottle and a nap. So if you would like to make this recipe, you can get a printable version of it on my website. I'll put a link to it down below. Thanks for joining us here in the Homestead Kitchen. My name is Constance, and this is Willow at A Good Life Farm. We'll see you next time.